Hello. Okay. Um, Welcome to round one of the Any Percent tournament, or I guess welcome back to round one. Um, Today we have Delta versus Coron in Any Percent. Delta is going to be running the release patch key route, while Coron is going to be running the original route that people ran at the start, which is the Cloaked Mist route. I'm going to give people a little bit of time to get in, and we will be starting the race in about 2 minutes. Yeah. Um, Route choices is just nice to know for the commentators. Also, is my microphone too loud in comparison to the game, or is it choppy? Is not every word that I'm saying coming through? Like, does everything sound good? All right, great. Oh, there's no game audio. Let me balance that a bit better then. There should be decently low music right now, just the title screen music. Though I think Delta has it turned off, which is why there's none. Okay, good. Um, okay, I think we are ready to start. All right, and we are off. Alright, so here at the start of the game, there is a movement technique called neutral pogoing, which Delta is going to be doing, and it is just pogoing down into the ground to prevent, and then being neutral when landing to prevent the end lag stun that you get. And this is quite a bit faster than moving normally. We also have weakness cutscenes here in Moss Grotto that take about 10 to 15 seconds to go through. So nothing too fancy quite yet. We are going to see the first difference in the route here though, because Delta drops down to grab the frayed rosary strings because he needs to save up 500 rosaries for a simple key to buy from Peb, who is the Bone Bottom merchant. And then we come to the ruined chapel where we have another weakness cutscene and the first boss of the game. Delta missing a hit there at the start. Both of them getting a stagger at the same time. Very clean Moss Mothers from both runners. They are basically even, other than Delta grabbing the extra rosary string, as well as Delta's timer being a little bit ahead of Coron's. Yeah, it is pretty insane how strong or how good of a runner Delta is that he can lose 5 seconds from picking up the rosary string and then still be even. Then we have a nice long room full of neutral pogos. Nobody fell down in Moss Grotto, which is always a good thing. We will be seeing Bone Bottom again on Delta's stream, but not on Coron's. I may as well explain the differences of the key route that Delta is taking. We are going to be seeing another route deviation here just before the Beastfly Pogo, where Delta is going to grab another 60 rosaries from the rosary rocks in this room. Meanwhile, Coron is just going to go straight up and do the Beastfly Pogo because Coron does not need rosaries. Ooh, barely missed it. Does not need rosaries for his run. When doing the key route, you skip Cloak and all of Farfield's. You skip most of Greymore. You also skip Lace 1. And that ends up being pretty big on time save and gets you into Shellwood approximately 100 seconds faster than the route that Coron is running. Yes, Delta is running on release patch. That is because a buggy wall jump got patched out in the underworks, which is the only reason why runners need to get cloak in the first place. On later patches. It can also be done with Reaper Crest, but Reaper Crest is much slower. Another route deviation here. Delta is getting another rosary string here from the Dead Pilgrim. Coron going into Bell Beast here. We'll see if he does the phase skip. Or goes for the phase skip. Meanwhile, Delta is collecting rosaries for the key. Delta is going to be 1 HP though. So this is a little bit sketchy. Never mind. Gets 4 HP. It does look like Coron is trying for the phase skip, but is barely going to miss it. Unfortunate hit there. Delta breaking the rosary strings. We'll see if Delta can get the Bell Beast. Phase skip. Coron finishing up Bell Beast. Delta getting a little bit unlucky there with RNG. It does look like Delta is going to opt for the 4-nail spear closer. And that is a successful phase skip from Delta. And as you can see, that saved a lot of time on Coron. You save about 15 seconds by not having the phase transition happen, as well as it just being generally fast to be able to, you know, set up and kill. Delta will be losing a small bit of time to imperfect RNG, but it's expected. And there is a small save quit that runners do right after Bell Beast because Hornet takes a long time to get up, and therefore it saves about 2 to 3 seconds of in-game time to do a quit out. Both runners are then going to be making their way to Swift Step. Delta is, I believe, going to be grabbing a few more rosaries along the way. Because, as I said previously, he needs to get to that 500 rosary total. Coron getting a nice fall into that room. Managing to keep his small lead over Delta. Yes, Delta is going up here, and this is because I believe there is a shortcut that needs to be opened in the next room, or yes, in this room, to allow them to get back up and farm rosaries, and do the full rosary route fast on their way back. Coron is currently doing the Flintstone Flyer pogo, which is a small skip. Saves a little bit of time to going and flicking the lever and then waiting for the lever to activate the platform to go into position to what's it called, to jump on it and get through. And there's also going to be the paid actor skip. Coron did not, in fact, have a paid actor, which is slightly unlucky, but he managed to pull it off flawlessly anyway. Welcome into the stream, Creeper. Delta also not getting a paid actor, however, also flawlessly pulling off the skip. The Ant Arena just got finished off by Coron, which is great pace. What happened to Delta's early game? Seems like he lost 20 seconds in Marrowbell. I know he took a lot of damage. Coron coming over to get the dash ability. Delta missing a spear on that final flying ant, unfortunately. Finishes off the last ones very nicely. Coron finishing the dash cutscene. Delta not quite getting the full fall down. And then Coron, here we're going to see the first major route deviation. Coron is going to go right out of this room to go and fight Lace. Meanwhile, Delta is going to go left out of that room to go towards the Wormways. Yes, the routes are different. Yeah. Routes are fairly different. At least up until Acts, or at least up until the Cling Grip. Then they are very similar again. Although I do believe that Coron is on latest patch, so he'll save a little bit of time by getting Needle 1, but will be unable to juggle Mist Rooms. Very nice lace fight from Coron, though. Delta already up to 230 rosaries. Now is when we get the very fast rosary farming. And it is very important for Delta to get fast rosary farming, because otherwise it would not save much time. Coron taking a little bit of damage, being 3 HP. It's not too bad right now. But taking a dunk or another point of damage will put him at risk of dying to another dunk. But it looks like that's not going to happen. Coron picking up the Flexile Spines quest. We get Cloak. Delta now up to 400 rosaries, nearly at the end of the rosary route. Looks like fair RNG for Coron so far. Nothing too special. It is unfortunate that the I mean, it was very nice RNG actually there at the end because of the two 6 spine cycles that were there at the end. Delta hitting the lever for the elevator in order to get back up, and now going to buy the key to enter Wormways. Coron just finished spine farming, and will now be on their way to actually get the cloak, and then go up to Greymoor, and make their way toward Moorwing. Meanwhile, Delta is skipping Moorwing entirely by going up through the... Oh! And falling back down, not all the way to the bottom. But Unfortunate fall. Didn't lose that much time. There is a much worse fall that can be done when you're exiting the wormways, going into Shellwood. But now we get to see how the wormways are done. Coron attempting Healus, not quite getting it. Healus is a way to skip the fourth chorus. He's now doing it with a heal and getting it. And it is basically just a faster version of the heal skip, which doesn't lose any time if you miss it. Because the heal cycle, or if you try to heal during the first one, you will get screamed on by the fourth chorus and fall into the lava anyway. Ooh, Delta getting hit by the worm there at the end. It shouldn't matter though. Finishing up the climb all the way into Shellwood. And very clean. So now, after this room, the routes are going to sync up. And Coron is simply just behind. The only thing Coron has is the cloak. And this is why key route is significantly faster. Now Delta is going to be doing a skip called Gadama skip, which you lure one of the flowers down and around to be able to pogo off of in order to skip the boss called Sister Splinter. Coron is going to be going towards Moorwing now. Quickly has to do the Greymoor Arena that Delta will have to do later in order to get into the mist. That's going to be a small time save that Coron gets a bit later. And Delta picking up the Cling Grip ability, now making his way to Widow. Widow is not the hardest boss in the run, but certainly a place where things can go wrong. Delta getting all of the very clean two-hit bell walls. And that is because when you do a dash attack, it seems to count for 2. Coron now fighting Moorwing, while Delta is on Widow. Delta taking a quick heal and doing the Pogo Dash strats to get a lot of damage on Widow quickly. Very nice Moorwing fight from Coron so far. Also very nice Widow fight. Neither of them are too low on health. And that will be phase 1 Widow down. And that will be Moorwing down. Insta-dash from Widow. Delta handling this very nicely. And Widow should be going down very soon, yes. Quickly see if I can. And that will be actually be a gold split from Delta's Widow. And I'm just going to quickly timer sync. I'm unsure what's happening with the streams because I'm trying to pause Delta's. Meanwhile, Coron's is also pausing. And there we go. So now Delta has the Needle In ability, which is a required ability due to the fact that you unfortunately are... Okay, what is happening with Coron's stream? Due to the fact that there will be no correct missed exits if you do not have the needle in. And there's also a hard check at the last judge. We're on finishing up the Shellwood Arena that Delta skips entirely by doing or by coming from the left side of Shellwood. And then Delta has, I think, the longest cutscene in the game. I am unsure what is happening with Coron's stream. I apologize, but I don't think that it's from... I don't think that it's something that I can fix. I am going to try to sync timers again. But hopefully Coron's stream is fine. Coron actually coming up on the Gadama skip that we saw earlier from Delta as well. Doing a bit of a slower version of it. The version that uses all challenges. It's a bit more consistent. Then also grabbing a little bit of silk for spearing the walls here, probably, yes. Bit low, 2 HP, this room can be a bit spooky. Delta finally waking up, coming out of the Widow cutscenes. And will now be on the way to Mist. There is... due to Delta not having Cloak, though, it will be much more difficult for him. In terms of movement. Because he doesn't have the option to stall in the air with the Cloak. So things like Cogwork Core and the cloakless Chalamet skip are going to be a little bit harder, but with Delta's skill, I'm sure that it won't be a huge problem. Coron getting at least one clean wall break. And coming up through Widow. Delta now making his way through the rat area in Lower Greymore. And this is because he can't take the airstream up because he didn't open it through the Morwing room. And it looks like he is actually going to skip the other arena that I was talking about, which I, for some reason, didn't think about. But there is this pathway up here that you can go through. Coron getting a nice clean phase 1 Widow. And, ooh, getting hit by that. Now it's a little bit spooky. Will be taking a heal, getting the heal off. And back down to 1 HP. Taking another heal, getting that one off. Delta going to Sinners. Will be approaching the Chalamet skip. Coron finishing Widow very nicely. And Delta getting the cloakless Chalamet skip first try. Is struggling with some of the cloakless wall jumps. When you do not have cloak, you actually cannot buffer. You cannot buffer wall jumps, which is peak Team Cherry spaghetti code. And Coron now doing the long Widow memory cutscene. But now we have Delta in the mist. We'll be getting one of the worst rooms to start. It's quite a large room. Gets a good exit, though. We'll be juggling the room. I may be misremembering which one it is. Gets the upper exit, which is good. Exactly what you want to see. Now he's going to take he's going to juggle and then take the left exit again to get crossing. And now he wants to see an up or down transition so that he can take a right side exit in the next room. Or go into a left exit, which finds a room with 2 rights. He is going to be getting an upward exit, which is great. And now he's going to be taking the right side exit of this room. Taking a little bit of damage. Should be fine. And makes it out of the mist with 1 health. We'll most likely be taking the exhaust organ bench. Which he will. And then going up through exhaust organ to take out Phantom, which will get him into Act 2. Coron save quitting out at Widow. And starting the Phantom fight for Delta. We'll be going for some swag strats with parrying Phantom's parry. And Coron will be skipping the cutscene because he is on latest patch. And now Coron will be making his way over to the mist, and we'll just be taking the airstream directly up. Meanwhile, Delta finishing the Phantom fight. Getting the parry ability. And now Delta is going to be making his way into Act 2 to fight the Cogwork Dancers. The hallway juggle could have went wrong, or is it always left? The hallway juggle is always... I've actually never seen anyone juggle the hallway. And if by hallway you mean the crossing, like the midway room, I believe people don't juggle it because it messes with something. I don't know the exact reason, but it is the correct exit for it is always just across. If that's what you were asking. Pretty sure that's not what you were asking, but I don't think that people juggle hallway or the crossing ever. Unless you mean the room that Delta finished on, in which case I believe there was only 1 right exit in that room, which means that it is always going to be... What is it always going to be? It's always going to be a a right exit into the mist because of the entrance from Sinners. Coron unable to juggle, so will have to deal with room RNG that he gets. Delta standing still for some reason. I don't know why Delta is standing still. Coron being a little bit spooky, 2 HP going through Mist. And triggering 2 Wraiths, 3 Wraiths, and is just going to gamble on the room due to being a bit low. Taking Silk Flies. Checking for the exit. Will be the lower right exit. And exiting the Mist. I think he probably got Silk Flies before and I just missed it. Delta now back and running. Don't know what happened to Delta. What do you mean by no CS skip? Delta messing up a movement a little bit there. And Delta making his way into Dancers. This final long hallway room. Oh. Yeah. He probably went to go eat or go to the bathroom or something. Which is a bold move in a tournament. It is precious time. Delta will be doing a Scream Skip here to give him early control and get a fast cycle on the Cogwork Dancers. Meanwhile, Coron getting a very nice Phantom so far, already on the second phase. Ooh, Delta's taking a little bit of damage, but it's completely fine. Coron should be finishing up Phantom here momentarily, and there it is. Delta on phase 3 of Dancers. Doing it very nicely, getting in all the damage. Unfortunate that they went to the middle there, but was very low anyway. Coron now being able to enter Act 2. Currently about 4 minutes behind Delta. Meanwhile, Delta is finishing up the Cogwork Dancers. That will be it. And then we perform another save quit here at Dancers. In order to skip the long turning of the room. I'm going for the fast Cogwork cycle here. Does look good. And gets it. Then he will be going into the Whispering Vaults Arena momentarily. Let's take that a little bit slowly due to not being able to air stall with Cloak. And now Coron will be getting the Lace cutscene. For entering Act 2. And now I can look at the splits and see that Coron is more like 4.5 minutes behind Delta. Nothing he can't come back from, though, because, again, he does have Cloak. He should be able to play a lot safer without losing as much time. Delta also has double damage from hazards due to being on a release patch. I believe the Coral Clappers, which are the large boss enemies at the end of the High Hall's Gauntlet and at the midway point, have 50 more health. Which means that they will be slightly easier to kill for Coron. But Delta does get a very clean Whispering Vaults arena and will be exiting. Coron now coming up on the Cogwork Dancers. Taking it a little bit safely, not opting to Pogo Dash through the Grand Reeds. And we'll be starting Dancers. Meanwhile, Delta is making his way toward Trobio. And Coron will be doing the Scream Skip. And finishing off at first phase very nicely. Meanwhile, Delta is entering Trobio. It is a thing. They did nerf Clappers by 50 health. At least, to my knowledge. It's at least something I've seen multiple times in the Discord by trusted community members. Delta getting a very clean Trobio, getting that final spear very nicely before Trobio hopped down. Trobio should be nearly dead. That should be the last one, and about maybe a spear or another hit. There we go. Meanwhile, Coron finishing up Cogwork Dancers very nicely. Going into that final phase. And that last dancer will be finished off very nicely. Meanwhile, Delta now going down to get the Claw Line ability. Which is needed for obtaining the Architect's Melody and the Conductor's Melody. Also getting the nice quick cycle on the Lava Room. You know, Coron is getting a fine cycle there on the middle of Core, and now approaching the Whispering Vaults arena. I guess I should explain, because I didn't do it after they started, or after they got dash, but the movement that they're doing, I believe is called wave dashing. And it is where you basically chain jump, dash, and pogo to do movement that I believe is 24% faster than regular dashing. or regular sprinting. Delta finishing off the Clawline Arena very nicely. Wanting a little bit of damage. Shouldn't be anything too bad. Gets a heal, or has the ability to heal after this. Will take that heal. And then has just the final Vault Keeper to deal with, which he will be handling with 1 more point of damage. Delta exiting Clawline, going into... or going to get the Sacred Cylinder. We'll be taking a little bit of damage to the spikes. That room usually has steam in it, but because both runners killed Phantom, that room does not have steam in it. Delta picking up that Sacred Cylinder that is needed for the Vault Keeper's Melody. And getting the very small skip of clawlining into the flying Vault Keeper dude that I don't actually know the name of. Coron opening a lever, will be on 2 HP going to Trobio. Not looking like a great situation for him, but he can definitely get through this. Will be 1 HP, gets a Tornado from Trobio. Needs 1 more hit of Silk to get a heal. That was very close to hitting him, that ball. Will be getting the heal off. And he should be fine from here. Meanwhile, Delta getting Vault Keeper's Melody. The first melody gotten in the run. Wanting a little bit of damage. Could be a little bit sketchy if he gets hit by one of the balls or one of the tornadoes. He will be getting enough Silk for another heal and taking it. And now he's full health again and should be fine. Getting Trobio into that stagger a little bit before the scream, which is unfortunate because you can stun him out of the scream with the stagger and save a lot of time. Delta now making his way into Architect's Melody. Getting a little bit of a safer cycle. And Coron should be finishing up Trobio here momentarily. And Delta now entering Cogwork Core, which is probably one of the most difficult parts of the run. Currently going very smoothly, and missing that, barely getting the Silk in time to hit that backup claw line. Needing to grab a little bit of Silk from that guy, because otherwise he will not be able to make that small skip right there. And taking another safety claw line right there. Perfect. Flawless Cogwork Core from Delta. Other than the 1 safety claw line. Now doing the Architect's Melody puzzle, which he has memorized. Missing the top lever there and going and resetting the room so that he doesn't have to wait for the pillars to come down. Other than missing that 1 lever, it was very clean. Coron now on his way down to get Clawline. We'll be taking a safe cycle. Not safe enough, apparently, because he did get hit by the explosion of the explodey dude. Delta now on his 2nd melody, and just has the conductor's melody left. Now on to the hardest part of the run, I would say, because you have essentially 3 bosses back to back to back. Those bosses being the High Halls Arena, Lace 2, and Grandmother Silk. All of which are not, at least not easy to beat. Delta getting, or not Delta, Coron getting a little bit unlucky having the flying guy get into his arena. Fortunately missing a spear on the guy with the cane. And finishing off the big guy. Does not look like he opted to go for the one-side kill strat where you use the explosion of the other guy to go in. Delta now in High Halls 3, going for the going through, just cruising along. Coron now making his way to the Sacred Cylinder. And Delta will be finishing up very nicely, taking a safety bench at High Halls. I do believe that it's also faster because you can quit out from the Conductor's Melody to save a bit of time running back. I'm not completely certain about that, though. Getting a little bit of damage to start, getting the triple spear on those guys. Very nice first wave. And doing a double spear, unfortunately getting hit by that 2 damage attack. Coron now having the Sacred Cylinder grabbed, will be making his way up toward the Vault Keeper's Melody. Delta on 1 HP now, probably looking for a heal. Is using it on spears instead. Very probably wants a heal here. Will be taking a heal. Taking a little bit of damage from Maestros. Down to 2 masks. And getting the first Maestro down, which should mean that he is safe. Yes, will be taking the second heal. And then going very aggressive on the last Maestro. Now with the Coral Clapper. Does have 50 health more than Coron's will. For reference, they deal 9 damage per nail swing. As well as very nice triple hit on the spear from Delta. Coron grabbing the first melody, Vault Keeper's Melody. Delta missing that spear entirely, fortunately. And landing that second spear very nicely on both of the bell bearers. A little bit of damage, is on 3 health. Is on 2 health. Is on 1 health. Hopefully will not be taking a death to this wave. Will be taking another safety heal. And well done. Gets a last heal off before the double clapper wave. A little bit unfortunate with the attacks from that first guy. Playing it very well so far. Gets hit once. Making a very spooky looking jump. Is going to be now one shot by this last guy. And finishes off the last guy very nicely. Meanwhile, Coron is now in Cogric Core. About halfway through. Trying to go for the nice turnaround jump. Will be taking 1 damage, luckily. Is not on release patch. And has cloak. So this is significantly easier and safer for Coron to play. And does look like he will be getting through Cogwork Core without too many mishaps. We're getting a very clean cycle there. And finishing off things, doing the room reload. Delta now entering Lace 2. Which, unfortunately for Coron, is one of the last 2 splits in the run. Or is the second of the last 2 splits of the run. Or the first, I guess. A quick timer sync here. As they both play their needle-ins. Coron going down on 2 HP instead of opting for a quit out to save health. Getting a few safety cloaks on the way down. And will be now making his way to High Halls as well. After taking a quick safety bench at Cogwork Core. Delta, now having finished playing the threefold melody, has now unlocked the elevator up to Lace 2, and will be fighting her momentarily. A little bit of a parry there from Lace. Delta is so far getting a very clean Lace 2. Getting all of the spears off very nicely. Dodging all of her attacks. Weaving around her. Coron getting the cycle up to the High Halls. Lace now in her final phase. That is her last scream. And dead. Very clean Lace from Delta. And he did remember to speak to Lace. Now we'll be grabbing the second and final Silk Heart of the run. We're wanting a little bit of a safer cycle here. Unfortunately, that Minister will be getting in the way, so forced to tank a hit. Will be going into the High Halls. But I believe Coron is on very nice PB pace so far. I do believe that he is on a pace for at least a 101 and I believe at max a 103, which is 8 minutes ahead of his PB. Hopefully he can pull it off. Unfortunately missing the triple spear. Delta making his way up to the final boss of the game. Can we get some Hollow Ds and Silk Ds in the chat? For Delta finishing the run. Grunting a little bit of damage. Does have the Trobium Mirror. So he can heal aggressively. Three HP, not too bad. Delta now entering the GMS fight. Some nice turnaround spears in there. And finishing phase 1 very nicely. Meanwhile, Coron finishing off the first clapper on wave 6 of the High Halls arena. It's looking pretty healthy, has a great amount of silk. Now down to 3 health. Delta still on 3 health. If he gets hit by one of the silk entanglements, he will be going down. Maybe he opts for a safety heal at some point. Dodging everything expertly, though. I do believe that is the second scream from Grandmother Silk. And a stagger. She should be going down momentarily. Gets a great pattern on that silk. And Grandmother Silk down. That looks like it's going to be a 55-minute flat time from Delta. Very nice run from Delta. Unfortunately, even though Coron has played very well, it does look like Delta is going to win. And it is going to be a 55-01 finish. So, GG to Delta. Coron still on PB pace. Now on the final wave of High Halls. Looking a little bit spooky on 4 health. But that is 2 hits that he can take before dying. And gets the first clapper down and taking 1 hit. But he should be fine, yes. Last clapper down. And on his way to a very nice PB of at least 8 minutes. Assuming he goes deathless, of course. This has been very well played by both runners. Unfortunately for Coron, he was the 32nd seed, and Delta was actually the first seed. So it was a very much an uphill battle for Coron. But Coron is playing very well, currently on a deathless run, currently on very good PB pace. So this is very, very good so far. Let's switch audio now that Delta is completed, or it has finished. Coron playing the threefold melody, going into lace 2. I think my initial estimate of a 101 to a 103 is looking a little bit off. That was loud.
only taking one hit so far. Currently a very nice Lace 2 fight, taking a save to heal, which also damages due to Trobio Mirror. Unfortunately taking that triple hit from Lace. Playing a little bit safely. Ooh, not good, knocking her into the steam. Is using Harpoon strats. The reason why knocking her into the steam is not good is because she only takes 15 damage from the steam, and in the time, ooh, Coron down to 1 health. Will most likely be looking for a heal. And never mind, gets the kill on Lace. And is looking like he is on pace for a 103. Or a low 104. So PB by 7 to 8 minutes, assuming a deathless GMS, is very nice. And as Tio was mentioning in the chat, you can actually get hit by the triple hit on the latest patch. I believe they fixed that with the latest round of bug fixes. And finishing off Lace 2, basically at the 1 hour mark. And will be going into GMS. And very easily get a mid to high 103. Unless his GMS is like Comsov GMS, in which case he can get a low 102. Or not a low 102, a high 102. Comsov, by the way, is the community sum of best. Which is a compilation of the best splits done by any runner. Will be getting hit by the 3 Silk attack, most likely taking a heal. Will be taking a heal. Heading her onto her first stagger of Phase 1. Taking another hit. Taking 2 hits, is down to 1 health. Onto her second Scream. Will be taking another hit right after getting a heal, which is very nice. Onto her second stagger. And she should be getting very low on her first phase. And Coron will unfortunately be dying here. Unfortunately, the needles... Something weird happened with them where 2 of them stacked. It was very unfortunate. Still on very good PB pace though, so it's not over. We can get a few Hollow Ds and Silk Ds in chat just to help Coron get that final push needed for the PB. It's still very much a good 105 pace. Yes, it most likely does suck that he died, but you do have to take the deaths as they come. Will be dodging that attack. If he got hit by it, he would have been dead. He's going to be able to dodge those needle attacks. Getting a nice spear off. Doing some harpoon strats, getting her onto the second stagger. A down dash coming in. Missing a spear, unfortunately. Is going to be air stalling with that spear to avoid the silk threads. And finishing off phase 1. On to phase 2, where Coron will be taking a very quick safety heal. Being a little bit high, able to get a second safety heal off though. Taking 1 damage from the spikes, that's not a huge deal. Little bit unfortunate, because now he will die to 2 nail hits. Is taking a safety heal because of that hit. And is getting a very nice spear off. Getting a very, very nice stagger. Is going to get hit by the falling rocks. And is a very, very clean phase 2. Can we get some GGs in the chat? Coron getting a very, very nice low 105, about 6.5 minute PB. Is it 6.5? It is 6.5. Very nice 6.5 minute PB by Coron. Unfortunate with the GMS death there at the end, but still a mid 105 time is a very solid time, especially from the old PB of 105. We will be doing an interview with them now. To hear their thoughts. What time did Delta get again? I believe he got a 55:01. That is an oversight on my part. I probably should have left the stream up so that we could see what time, or added it to the finished run text. Unfortunate with the GMS death there at the end, but still a mid. All right. We should be having. We have Delta joining us. Welcome in, Delta.
Hi.
How did your run go, in your opinion?
I would say the start was freaking miserable. But honestly, after that, it was all pretty decent. I can't complain.
That sounds very good. At least for the Act 2 part.
Yeah.
Okay. 1 second. I'm dragging Coron in. If I can actually fix things. I know I just messed up everything. There we go. You have Coron in here now.
Hello?
What the heck happened to the stream?
Okay.
Oh,
I have very specific settings, and I had to make my Discord larger. Anyway, welcome in, Coron. Congratulations on your
Thank you.
6.5 minute PB. How would you say your run went?
thank you. Um, it was pretty rough. It was riddled with a lot of mistakes. I could definitely see myself getting a better PB. It's just been so long since I played the game, honestly. So
Well, you did PB by a bit, and I know you said that it's not what you wanted, but you were deathless until GMS. What time were you expecting to get then?
um, with this run, without the GMS death, it probably would have been maybe a 102, 103. If I cleaned up my whole run itself though without like any mistakes and stuff like that, I would hope to get like a maybe sub one, just barely, or maybe sub 101. Um, but yeah, 102, 103 for this one without the death.
All right. And are you happy with that?
Yeah, I'm glad I got the PB at the end of it. It's this tournament was kind of an excuse for me to like actually get into it properly. I've been pretty lazy with the runs, so um, I'm definitely happy with it. Could
All
be
right.
better, but we'll take it.
That's good to hear. Um. Uh. Do either of you have anything you want to discuss, like points in the run that you were nervous on, uh, or anything?
I'm nervous, but I do want to speak about that lace too, because I've never seen that happen before for me. So if in spot lace two did the scream for her final phase, did the attack, and then did a scream for her second phase.
And then died.
Oh.
Yeah, I've never seen that happen before.
What?
It was
Oh, that's
so
strange.
weird.
I think you just dealt
I think I
so
just
much damage
did
to
too
her.
much damage.
Wow.
But yeah, that I mean, very solid run from you, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was nervous, especially after like I immediately almost died in the Marrow split because
Yeah, we saw that.
they are just annoying enemies.
Yeah. Um, do you guys have any closing thoughts?
Um, it was a good run. I would like to say I don't know if you caught on, but during the mist, I think it was the fourth room, the one after the intermission. I think I had to do a 50-50 because I couldn't find any of the flies to track where the exit was. So I just took a complete guess and it worked out surprisingly.
That was in fact very lucky for you. I did see the stream and I'm like, I don't know if you found flies yet, but you were very low on health and most likely dying if you didn't take that gamble.
It was just a Hail Mary. Yeah, I'm glad it worked out.
But yes, very nice that it worked out for you.
About Mist, that's like I got very good RNG from Mist. Like
Yeah, you got like
first
perfect
entire
juggles.
segment was very good, and what I don't know room numbers, but that's second room. If only there were butterflies elsewhere, it would have been maybe a sub-minute Mist.
Yeah,
A
well, that's
sub-minute
unfortunate.
missed. Wow.
Yeah,
Although I don't have the
Delta was
time,
cruising.
and then I got hit by a trap and almost died.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, that is GG's. We will be seeing you again in future rounds, Delta. And thank you for your participation, Coron.
Oh, thank you for having me. It was fun.
We are going to be ending the stream here. You guys are free to leave, by the way, if you wish. We are going to be ending the stream here, but we do have another match starting in 30 minutes, which we will be back for. Or I at least will be back for it. Maybe I have Delta or Coron commentating with me. But until then,
Sorry.
thank you for watching, and we will see you in 30 minutes.